Welcome to NFL Live, presented by Tostitos. We are 6 days away from Super Bowl 60. Both of the teams have landed in the Bay Area, and we have you covered from all sides. Reporters Jeff Darlington with the Seahawks all week, Sal Paolantonio on the Patriots. A lot to get to for both teams, but first, all eyes are on Patriots quarterback Drake May, who was limited in practice last week with a shoulder injury, missed Friday's practice due to illness. So, Sal Pal, embedded with the Patriots this week, what's the latest on Drake May?
Yeah, let me get you up to date, Dan. The Patriots are going to Stanford University, Palo Alto. Practice time temperature here in Northern California, 64 degrees. We're going to round up to 65 degrees, so it's going to be a real nice day for the Patriots to practice, and we're anxious to see how much practice Drake May has today. Unfortunately, no pool reporter at practice today, and no practice or injury report from the Patriots until Wednesday. So we won't really get a true update about his shoulder for 2 days. Same for Robert Spillane, their middle linebacker who left the AFC Championship game with an ankle injury. As everybody knows, Jack Gibbons had the green dot put on his helmet in the middle of that game and did a great job taking the signals in from Zach Kerr, who called the defensive signals in that game and did a brilliant job against the Denver Broncos. So 2 injuries we're monitoring today and on Wednesday on offense and defense for the Patriots. Now here's Jeff Darlington with the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, Sal, what an interesting weekend for Seahawks offensive coordinator Klint Kubiak, who interviewed with 2 different jobs, the Las Vegas Raiders and the Arizona Cardinals. He is expected to take the Las Vegas Raiders head coaching job. Then he went ahead and flew to San Jose here to get ready for the Super Bowl. But so interesting what Kubiak is dealing with here. Now, he is fully focused on the Super Bowl. One of the things that the Raiders really loved about him is his ability to transition in the middle of this season from being a very pass-centric offense. In Week 11, Sam Darnold throwing 4 picks against the Rams, then transitioning more into a run-centric offense that he brings here to San Jose for this Super Bowl. So the Seahawks are going to have to find themselves a new offensive coordinator after this game, but not before it is over. Kubiak expected to be that Raiders head coach, but for now, still the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks.
Sam Darnold becoming the first quarterback ever to win 14 games in back-to-back seasons with 2 different teams. Jeff, before we let you guys go, we saw this tweet from you about an earthquake in Santa Clara. I want the people to take a look at this. Little baby earthquakes. First, are you good, or what's going on out there?
I'll tell you what. You know what the best part about that is? I'm in my room. I'm a Florida guy. I don't have to deal with earthquakes. All of a sudden, it felt like a train was passing by my hotel room. You know, I go into fight or flight. I'm feeling it, heart's beating, all this stuff. Walk down to the lobby to get in the car with my companion here, Sal Paolantonio, to head over here. I say, you guys feel that earthquake? Sal looks at me like, what are you talking about? Okay, this guy doesn't feel earthquakes. Okay, he doesn't feel anything. This guy is stoic, eyes on the prize. I'm sitting here freaking out in my hotel room. Not Sal and Paolantonio. Not at all.
That's a guy that's covered how many Super Bowls, Sal Pal?
34, Dan.
34
32
Super Bowls.
with ESPN. Yep.
He has seen it all and felt every tremor. Thanks, guys. Obviously, we'll much more with you as the week rolls along. Clint Kubiak, a busy man. Not only is he preparing to call plays in the Super Bowl as the Seahawks offensive coordinator, but according to our Adam Schefter, he's also expected to be the Las Vegas Raiders' next head coach. No deal can, of course, be official until after the Super Bowl, but Klint Kubiak wants to coach the Raiders, and they want him, so we would expect that news next week. Raiders head coach turnover is something.
Annual tradition.
Yes, it's Klint Kubiak's going to be the Raiders' 5th full-time head coach in the last 6 seasons, dating back to John Gruden in 2021. Previous 3 hirings all failed to complete 2 seasons. I guess low bar to clear for
indeed.
Kubiak. Welcome to NFL Live. Dan Graziano in for Laura, here with Field Yates, Jason McCourty, and Tim Hasselbeck. So, Field, we just saw that graphic on the Raiders head coaching turnover. Do you think Klint Kubiak is in a position to change that?
It's going to take some time, for sure. I think the Raiders are now in a position where they're actually aligned with the reality. This is going to take time to not just get back to their winning ways, but to compete in this AFC West division, which now has probably a 4-team race. Like, the 3 head coaches besides Klint Kubiak are well-established, well-respected head coaches. In the case of 2 of them, they've won at Super Bowl previously.
Yeah.
What I like about this more than anything else is the potential pairing. It's not potential. It's the eventual pairing of Fernando Mendoza and also Klint Kubiak. One of the quarterbacks that I have used as a comparison for Fernando Mendoza throughout this draft process is Sam Darnold. These guys who want to play hard, play action pass. These guys who have all field accuracy and powerful arms. Functional athletes, not dynamic athletes that you're worried about running the football 12 or 14 times a game, but guys that you could move the pocket with. And as we saw in the national championship game, a guy in Fernando Mendoza that, when called upon, can do some damage with his legs. That quarterback draw, one of the iconic plays of the past college football season. You've got a young head coach. You've got a young quarterback. There's going to be some self-scouting here right now for the Raiders that we want to get to where the Chargers and Broncos were and where the Chiefs have been for about a decade. But now we're on the same timeline. Last year when you hired the oldest head coach in NFL history, and Pete Carroll, you said, we want to compete, and we want to compete sooner rather than later. This hire suggests they're ready to be patient going forward.
And then you look at it, you mentioned Mendoza, and you love that pick for you compare him to Sam Darnold. Now, Kubiak's getting ready to have Sam Darnold play in Super Bowl 60, and it's a guy on his 15. So understanding and knowing what you need to get out of the quarterback on the offensive side of the ball is tremendous, and it's a pairing that you love. I think for the Raiders organizationally, as you look at their roster, there's a lot of shortcomings. So how do they figure out a way to fill that void? Are you able to trade a Geno Smith for something that you can get back? You look at Max Crosby and everything that happened at the end of last year where they were tanking in a sense of trying not to win those games at the end. Crosby didn't take well to that. So is Crosby a guy that you potentially try to move to get more draft picks, to try to get more talent? Because what Kubiak's walking into, you have Ashton Genty in the backfield. You have Brock Bowers. Beyond that, the cupboard's kind of empty, and that's also on the offensive line. So how many more weapons can you get from him on the offensive side of the ball? And then defensively, how can you fill some of those patches to go out there and be competitive? Because in that division, you're going to have to do something to hold up with Harbaugh, Reed, and those guys, Sean Payton as well, to try to hold your own.
It's a competitive division, and so the reality is it's going to take time. It's going to need to be patience, and I think that's part of the reason we're looking at a young head coach now versus obviously the point field made about Pete Carroll being gone. And I think the other aspect of it is while we have seen rookie quarterbacks come in and have success quickly, it can also take some time. And so the idea that Kubiak is coming from a tree that is basically a West Coast offense-based tree, a lot of pure progression stuff, a lot of move the pocket, play action stuff, something that's kind of been tried and true and proven in the National Football League. I think that there'll be, or at least in anticipation of, a little bit of patience, a little bit of understanding of what they are dealing with now. And that's kind of what this feels like in terms of age of the head coach and move that you'll be making at quarterback.
They'd love to get back to the playoffs and win a game. Last time the Raiders won a playoff game was 2002. Second longest active drought in the league.
We talked about all this turnover for the Raiders at head coach. How about this for Klint Kubiak? This will be his 6th different job with a 6th different team in 6 years.
That's something.
He has been well-traveled as an assistant coach recently, rising through the ranks, now settling in, soon with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Maybe Klint Kubiak and the Raiders are a better match than we even realized, given all that change. New on NFL Live from Adam Schefter, Ravens are expected to hire Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver as their new defensive coordinator. Weaver worked for the Ravens from 2021 to 23 in assorted roles, including assistant head coach. We've got much more to talk about on NFL.